1.
Fran, is there any chance I could borrow your camp bed this weekend? My parents are coming to stay.
Sure. When do you want to pick it up?
I couldn't ask you to drop it at my place, could I? It's just that I haven't got the car today, and I really need it first thing tomorrow.
Fine. I can drop it round this evening.
Thanks, Fran.
2.
John, I'm really sorry to bother you, but my car's broken down. Would it be at all possible for you to give me a lift home this evening?
I'm really sorry, Jan. I'd love to help you, but I promised to meet someone at the airport straight after work. Harry goes your way, though. Why don't you ask him?
Good idea. I will.
Oh, before you go, Jan, could I ask you a favour? I'm going to Istanbul next weekend, and I seem to remember you've got a guidebook about it. Would you mind if I borrowed it?
Not at all. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
3.
Excuse me. My friend and I would like to sit together, but we've been given seats in separate rows. Would you be able to swap with one of us? We've both got window seats.
I'm really sorry. I wish I could help you, but I really need an aisle seat, so I'll have to stay here. The cabin crew might be able to arrange a swap, though.
Yes, I'll ask them. Thanks anyway.
1.
Would it be at all possible for you to give me a lift home this evening?
2. Would you mind if I borrowed it? 3.
Would you be able to swap with one of us?
4.
Is there any chance I could borrow your camp bed this weekend?
5.
Show me what to do, will you?
6. Could you possibly show me what to do? 1.
I know it's a non-flexible ticket, but it's an emergency. Is there any chance you could change the ticket for me?
I'm terribly sorry, but I can't make any changes to non-flexible tickets.
2. Excuse me, I wondered if you could tell me where the nearest cash point is?
I'm afraid I can't. I'm not from around here either.
1.
Excuse me, would you mind if I took this seat?
2.
Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. Do you think you could possibly lend me your notes this weekend? I've got so much work to catch up on.
3.
You haven't quite done this exercise correctly.
4. Are you still on for tomorrow? You promised you'd help me with the move, remember? 5.
Could you possibly read this report for me and give me feedback by the end of the day?
1.
What's the matter, Dulcie? You look very down in the dumps.
I am. My grades weren't good enough to get into my first choice of university.
Oh, no. You must be really disappointed. Have you thought about getting any of the papers remarked?
I'd consider that if I was just a few marks away from a good grade, but I'm afraid I've done too badly.
It might be an idea to retake the exams then.
Yes, I think that's my only option.
Or you could try to get into a different university. Is that an option?
It might be. I think I'll look into that first. Thanks for the suggestion.
Good luck.
2.
Mark, can you give me some advice?
Of course. What is it?
Well, you know the guy Nadia's started seeing, Jake? She's crazy about him. But I saw him at a party last night with someone else. I don't know whether to tell Nadia or not. What do you think I should do?
Well, are you sure the girl he was with wasn't just a friend?
Definitely. They certainly weren't behaving like two friends, if you know what I mean. What would you do in my situation?
It's tricky. If you tell her, she might think you're trying to cause problems for her and Jake. She knows you don't really approve of him. But I must say, if it were me, I'd want my friends to tell me the truth.
The thing is, I don't want her to think I'm just interfering.
I know what you mean. You could talk to him, I suppose.
Oh, I don't really know him, though.
If I were you, I'd say to Nadia, I saw Jake last night. I wouldn't mention the fact he was with someone. She might work things out for herself.
Yes, that's a good idea.
1.
Can I ask you for some advice?
2.
I saw Sharon cheating in the exam this morning.
3.
Perhaps you should tell someone about it.
1.
I wouldn't do that.
2.
You ought to do something about it.
3.
You shouldn't really say that.
4.
If I were in your situation, I'd leave immediately.
5.
Have you thought about moving?
1.
I wouldn't do that.
2.
You ought to do something about it.
3.
You shouldn't really say that.
4.
If I were in your situation, I'd leave immediately.
5.
Have you thought about moving?
I don't think I'm going to be allowed to continue with physics. My lecturers told me I just haven't got the grades this year to carry on with the course.
I really don't know what to do. Should I speak to her about it? I mean, what would you do in my situation?
I don't know whether or not to apply for the job. I don't think I have enough experience.
My parents are really keen for me to do medicine, but my heart's just not in it. Yes, I'm good at science, and I like it, but I love sport too, as you know. One.
Do you know, I spent about 2 hours yesterday just opening and answering my emails. There were about 50 in my inbox since 6 p.m. I think emails have made life more difficult and not easier at all. What do you reckon?
I guess you're right. Emailing does seem to have taken over our lives.
Some people say they only check email once or twice a day.
If you ask me, it's a crazy idea. I mean, what if it's something really urgent?
The way I see it, that's exactly why you should phone someone, to get their attention immediately. If you knew your email wouldn't be read for several hours, you wouldn't send it. You'd phone, surely.
Yes, and in my view, that's exactly what we should start doing, using the phone again.
But then we'd all be complaining about endless phone calls during our working day. 2.
What do you think about this new suggestion that criminals should meet and apologize to their victims?
I strongly believe it could be helpful to both people, in some cases, but not when the crimes are serious. Personally, I wouldn't want to meet someone who really hurt me in some way.
What's your attitude to people working in the community, then, instead of going to prison? Are you in favor of having criminals clean the streets outside your house where children are playing? Because as far as I'm concerned, criminals should be kept away from society, not allowed into it.
I really think it depends on the crime. I know driving while drunk is a crime, but to my mind, someone who is guilty of that crime wouldn't be a danger working as a street cleaner. 1.
Personally,
2.
to my mind,
3.
I'm absolutely sure.
4.
I'm utterly convinced.
5.
I strongly believe.
6.
As far as I'm concerned,
7.
if you ask me,
8.
in my view,
1.
Anyway, I think it's a lot of rubbish. What about you? Have you got an opinion?
2.
What's your view on the subject, Barry?
3.
I suppose I think it's a bit dishonest, really.
4.
If you ask me, we don't have time for that.
1.
Anyway, I think it's a lot of rubbish. What about you? Have you got an opinion?
2.
What's your view on the subject, Barry?
3.
I suppose I think it's a bit dishonest, really.
4.
If you ask me, we don't have time for that.
1.
I read something interesting in the paper recently. Some people are suggesting that the best way to stop children from skipping school is to send the parents to prison for a week or so.
Two.
I really hate it when joggers use the pavement as a running track. What do you reckon?
3.
Where do you stand on the subject of young working people having to pay for the care of the elderly?
1.
You know, in some countries, university education is paid for by the state. I think that's the way it should be, don't you?
Up to a point. But many students drop out of university halfway through their course, and that's a complete waste of taxpayers' money.
That may be the case with some, but not the majority of students.
Anyway, it isn't anyone's right to go to university, you know.
I disagree. Everyone has a right to further education. Our whole society benefits from well-educated people. If nobody went to university, who would do all the hard work?
You can't actually mean that. Most of the hard-working people in our society didn't go to university.
I'm sorry, I can't agree with you there. Of course we need people with different skills, but we need doctors, lawyers, teachers, scientists too.
I couldn't agree more. But graduates earn more than non-graduates, so they should pay for their studies.
I'm sorry, I don't think that's right. Not all graduates earn more, and there aren't even enough jobs.
Tell me about it. All the more reason for my argument. I mean, where's the money going to come from?
2.
Boxing is such a dangerous sport. I think it should be banned.
No way. It's exciting. The competitors are very well trained and skillful.
But there have been so many injuries and accidents, even deaths from boxing.
That's true, but accidents happen in all sports.
I'd go along with that. But boxing is the only sport where the actual aim is to hurt your opponent.
Exactly. That's why there are strict rules. As long as there are these controls, I think it's as safe as any other sport.
Well, we'll have to agree to disagree there, I'm afraid.
One.
I'm totally with you on that.
2.
But surely it depends on the product.
3.
Maybe you've got a point there.
4.
It's not true that most experiments are done on chimpanzees.
'Ch' sound. Actually. Teachers. Chimpanzees. J sound. Injuries. Dangerous. Apology. S sound. Discuss. Society. Mice. Z sound. Alternatives. Depends. Chimpanzees. Exactly.
One.
Good morning. I spoke to you earlier today about a refund, and you said you'd call me back after you'd spoken to your manager.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, sir, but I've spoken to the manager and he doesn't feel that you are entitled to a refund.
Rubbish.
2.
Hi, Linda. Hey, did you see Jenny's dad yesterday? What do you think of his long hair? Oh, doesn't it look weird? I really think people in their 60s should keep their hair short.
I'm afraid I just can't agree with you on that.
3. I think anyone should be encouraged to stay in work, even when they're in their 70s. There's no need for anyone to retire if they don't want to. Don't you agree?
Up to a point, but it depends on the job. They may not be able to continue doing heavy manual work, for example.
1.
I think it's grossly unfair that women get paid less than men doing the same job.
2.
Surely, if we have freedom of speech, we can say what we like, even if it offends someone.
3.
It's always better for children to have 2 parents instead of just 1.
4. I completely agree with a proposal to make people pay to use local parks. That way, we'd end up with much safer, cleaner parks.
1. You're off on holiday next week, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to Greece.
Oh, I bet you can't wait.
I can't. I just love the Mediterranean.
Me too. The colour of the water. Oh, it's so clear.
I haven't been to Greece for ages. It's the smell of the pine forests that I remember.
Oh, yes. That's wonderful.
What I really love as well is the food.
Definitely. Greek food is so delicious.
Fresh fish eaten at a seaside taverna.
Oh, yes. The seafood is wonderful, wherever you eat it. Oh, lucky you, going to sunny Greece.
2.
Come on, it'll be fun. You never go out these days.
What do you mean? I do go out. I went to that street market thing with you last weekend, remember? Not that that was much fun.
Well, I thought it was fun, whatever you say. Anyway, what I'm talking about is something completely different. I really think you should come. You're always complaining that you don't meet people.
I do want to meet new people. What I don't want to do is end up standing by myself in a corner with nobody to talk to.
Look, I promise I won't leave you on your own.
Well, if you promise. Okay, I'll come.
Oh, good.
One.
What I really love is swimming in the sea.
2.
He's always interrupting me.
3.
I did phone.
4. I do eat meat. 5.
It's the blue one I really want to try on.
1.
Please send me a postcard from Greece.
I will.
2.
Did you see any famous people at the film premiere?
I did. Loads. 3.
I hope you enjoyed your meal.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
4. It's the weather that's so great. 5.
You're going away next week, aren't you?
I am! I can't wait!
1.
Please send me a postcard from Greece.
I will.
2.
Did you see any famous people at the film premiere?
I did. Loads. 3.
I hope you enjoyed your meal.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
4. It's the weather that's so great. 5.
You're going away next week, aren't you?
I am! I can't wait!
1.
Holly's a very cheerful person, isn't she? I love the way she's always smiling.
2.
I've heard a very interesting rumour about you. Are you really going to be our new team leader?
3.
This flat is really great now. The only thing I'd still love to get is a cat. But you don't like cats.
4. Apparently John wanted something exotic, so he chose the venue. An island in the Caribbean. Can you believe John is such a romantic?